What's going on YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to Texas Podcast. Thank you for all the day ones, all the new subscribers, all the likes, all the comments, all the feedback. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. Hopefully everybody's having a, as they would call it, what's the day? Hump day? Wednesday? Hopefully everybody's having a good Wednesday, midweek. I know it's a Easter weekend coming up. And I know some people are off for Good Friday. I know the kids are off for Good Friday. So hopefully it's a short week for a lot of people out there. It's been a minute since I guess it's what I guess somebody said this is the 400 or the 4,000. Well, I guess this is going to be the 4,001 uh replay, whatever you want to call it. It's been a it's been a minute since we touched up on it or even watched it. It's been a minute since we watched the documentary, man. If you don't like what's being watched, you don't have to watch, man. Nobody, you waste more energy posting your negative comments in the comment section. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch, man. Go do something productive with your energy instead of producing negative energy out there. Because it takes you a lot more energy, time, and effort to sit and type your negativity comments in the comment section. You have the power. You have the choice not to tune in. It's easy. It's a lot easier just to scroll up, scroll down, scroll left, scroll right, than to post your negative comment. If you don't like what's being played or talked about, kick rocks. It's that simple. Unsubscribe, uh, hit the unnotification for you won't get any future notifications, and that's the end of it. I'm pretty sure if you don't want me popping up in your feed, don't tune in. Because I know I watch certain things, and if it goes a few days that I don't watch it, they don't pop up on my feed no more. It's that simple. I don't get it, man. It's like the more you tell me not to do it, the more I'm going to do it. And if it bothers you, don't watch. Don't tune in. That's all I can say. I don't go and dictate what channel you're watching in your home. Because I'm exposing. That's two different things. You see, I'm exposing. That's two totally different things. It's two different totally things, man. I bring I show this documentary. No, I'm telling you, Peter Murray Hunter Club, if you don't like what's being watched or talked about, don't watch. What's going on? It's the Almighty. That's going good, bro. It's just been a minute, since I haven't played this documentary. Uh, and it's like it's this started out as some type of kangaroo court, and in any court setting or scenario, you have the evidence. The prosecution and the district and the defendant is going to be looking at that evidence over and over, right? Until new evidence comes. So basically, your defense and the prosecutors looking at the same evidence over and over, just going over it. Maybe they missed something the first time coming around. Maybe somebody new watches it, is interested in it. If it's not your cup of tea, you have the option of drinking it, right? I mean, nobody's forcing you to drink something that you don't like. And instead of expressing your negativity or comment on how you feel, as you would say, putting a bad review, don't visit the establishment. If it's already left a bad taste in your mouth, why visit the establishment again? I wouldn't go. I just don't get it. I don't get it. You have to sit there and expose, man. It's like the everything when you expose is not pretty, man. It's like an autopsy, right? To find out to the truth, you got to do an autopsy, right? And that's not the most beautiful thing to do, but you still have to do it to get to the bottom of the truth, right? So it's sad to say that we're in this genre that's kind of sinful and deceit, lust, deviancy. So in the middle of all that, you got to dig through all this smut to get to the truth. Nobody said this was clean business. Nobody said that this was a clean business, man. That's why you have to say you have to have a stomach for this type of business. Like a mortician. You know, Over here, we're not talking about this guy's sexual preference. We're not leaving it up to the visualization. It's already bad enough of what we're talking about. It's already leaving a, a bad taste in your mouth. But to sit there and be questioning, is this guy doing a 3 point, 4 point stance, whatever stance this guy is doing as a position center, it's two different things. They're in the process of exposing uh smuck business. Man, you bound to get dirty, man. It's not a clean business. You're about to get dirty. That's why you gotta say your prayers at night. It's called content, Peter. Peter, it's called content, man. It's called content. What is so? I mean, what is so? If Mark's on YouTube, Mark is content. Everybody else, Peter, are you Mark's word daddy, or is Mark your word daddy? Because let Mark speak for himself. No, Mark is the content for me. I'm glad. I'm glad. People. The less people that talk about it, hey, the more people are gonna come over here to me, right? So good. That means more business for me. The less people that talk about Mark, that means more business for me, right? Because people are gonna want to come and check what's going on with Mark. And since I'm the only channel reporting on Mark, then hey, all the traffic should come this way. If you don't like what's being reported or talked about, let me ask him. Let me reach out to him, man. I just texted him right now. I don't care about my channel growing, man. As long as Mark doesn't grow, I'm happy. Because everybody else that's still plotting and pleading right there, trying to scheme through the background, no, I don't worry about growing. There's plenty of more. Don't worry about it, man. You know what I'm gonna do to you? Since you're not a supporter of this channel, you can't comment over here, buddy. You're out of here. I'm tired of going back and forth with you. If you don't like what I'm showing over here, all you have to do is not watch. That simple. It's that simple. It's that simple. If I just texted Hips. Hey, bro, if you do that, look, I'll give you his cash app right here, man. And before you send him anything, let me know, man, if I can be like, hey, somebody's gonna send you something, man, but they want you to get on. Let me text him real quick. I texted him. Look, I'm gonna take a screenshot, man. People won't think that I'm lying, man. It's just, see, he texted me this morning. That's his new Cash App. And I texted him right now. I'm like, what's up, bro? They want to Cash App you for you to get online. I mean, he called me in the morning. We are. I just don't want to. I found the majority of the players already. Majority of the players have been found, but it's going to be. I can't rush these guys. You know what I mean? I have to let them be on their time and reach out to them because I already told you, man. This the victim. He's in the he's in a comfortable position in life, I would say. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be on your time, man. It's not going to be on your time. It's not going to be on y'all's time. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I know you don't need to know. As long as I know, you don't need to know. You don't need to know. In time, be patient. Go do your content. Don't worry about what I'm doing over here. If it's old, uh, new, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. One more stupid comment and you're getting banned. Simple as that. That simple. If you don't like what's being showed over here, I'm not getting mad because nobody's going to spin any kind of narrative or dictate on how I run my business. If you don't like it, kick rocks. That simple. Yeah, bro, but don't send him nothing yet. Don't send him nothing yet till he replies. Because if you send him something right now, man, I don't want to talk bad about hips, but uh, he's busy right now, man. Even it's. I'm gonna call him real quick, man. Let me call him real quick. Shit. Yeah, bro. I just finished getting off the phone with Hips right there. He said he got a few things going on. You know, he got a couple of things going on with people right now. He said he should be home by 10 o'clock. You know, I don't know if y'all could hear the conversation that I was having with them. I don't know if y'all could hear it. But I just finished talking to him. He said by 10 o'clock he should be home, and hopefully he said he's been trying to get a hold of me because he said he lost his phone and he lost all his contact, and he said he's been trying to contact me through the comments on YouTube, but I think if you put contact information, it's not going to go through. So he's probably been putting his phone number in the comment section for me to get a hold of him, and it probably doesn't go through. I haven't seen his number in the comment sections. So that's why earlier I did the thing. If somebody wanted to join the panel, it was $10, but that was just basically to cover his cost for anybody that wants to get on the panel and ask Kips those questions. Because I know in the last time they were asking like we need to go find JD, but in reality it's going to be kind of hard, because we don't know who JD is. Those are just initials and abbreviations. John Doe, Jack Daniels. You don't know who JD is. And at this point, the only one that knows who JD is Mark. And Mark so far hasn't been so openly and truthful on who these characters are. All along, Mark knew who Honeybone was, who Reba was, and he stayed quiet. So now to ask Mark, hey, who's JD? Who was your first lover? Mark ain't gonna say. And that's why we need other people like Charles. Because I know they were asking Youngblood. They were asking Youngblood, did you witness? Did you hear? Did you see? And Youngblood, it's two different circles. But Hips did say, and it's gonna be kind of hard for Mark to say, yeah, this is who JD is. I don't think he's gonna come out and say, hey, this is who JD was. The only one I reached out to a few people in that documentary, which was it was a couple, a doctor, a man and a female. I think they're up in either Philadelphia. They're somewhere up in East Coast. They participated in doing the research for it. But when I reached out to them, they were like, "Man, if you need to know more about it, you need to reach out to Jonathan Schwartz." They kept on directing me to Jonathan Schwartz. They kept on other people that participated in that documentary, because you can go back on the credits. Yeah. See, the last time that Mark was in the comments, yeah, you can. There's a lot of people that are on the credits. Even if you go to the that website called IDDBM, or where it tells you the credits about the people that were doing the movies and whatnot. Because even I'm surprised that they give credits to Mendenhall. David Mendenhall has himself like a character. He portrayed himself. So I don't understand. If they what I want to know, how come none of these guys got any kind of royalties? You know what I mean? That's what I would be asking and be like, man, how come? I don't know. You know what I mean? I guess I don't know, man. That's a question for these guys to be asking. These guys be like, hey, this documentary still be shown. It's still shown on Tubi. Somebody had to get paid for that documentary to be on Tubi. I don't know how they make their money off Tubi, but for it to be still out there in the public circulating, then somebody's still getting paid. Yeah, that's that's helpful, but you also have to understand. You also have to take in consideration that a lot of these people were using middle names. A lot of these people have middle names, and that's what they were using. Like William Burnett. His full name is William Jeffrey Burnett. So it just depends on what name they were using. Like Hips, a lot of these guys got middle names, like Lamark Terrell Moore, but everybody knows him as Mark Moore. So he can easily have a profile under his name under Terrell Moore. So it's just you have to know all these guys' information to be able to pinpoint them. Yeah, I believe it. But I've gone to TikTok and there's really nobody really talking about Mark. I don't see Mark really on nobody really talking about him on TikTok. Unless I'm searching up the wrong keywords. Because I go to TikTok. Yeah, and that's probably he probably has multiple pages for multiple personalities. He probably got one for family, one for fun and activities, and one for and stuff he's not supposed to be doing. Now he should be on here tonight, bro. I talked to him here in a little. I just got off the phone with him, and he said tonight he was gonna get on at 10 o'clock, and that's what he said. I don't know if y'all could hear me with the conversation that I was having with them. But Hips said at 10 o'clock he'd be ready. That's what he said. That's what Hip said. I just, I got off the phone with him right now. I just called him when I was on the live with y'all. He picked up the phone. He said by 10 o'clock he should be home and ready. So that way, when he does get on the live, anybody want to get on and ask him those questions that you want to know, because I'm not making the stuff up. Hips is the one that said he's seen him do this, seen him do that. Uh, the thing about it is that Hips put it on his mom. You know, I don't see no I don't see no grown man, putting something like that, on your mom's health, and standing on it and being like, nah, man, I put that on my mom. That, you know, because I guess Mark, when Mark questioned him like that, I guess he thought, Hips was gonna back away and be like, oh, nah, nah. But Hips said, I put it on my mom, and when you hear statements like that from a person like Hips, then uh, it's 10 o'clock right now in Texas. No, when hour. So when it's 11 your time, it'll be 10 my time. And that's why the 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 the, the victim was kind of hard to find, because there's another name in there. Yeah, he did. He did. He did. But I think Hips is at that point in their life where he just wants to move on from that. Be like, you know, we did a live when Young Blood and Hips, and I think Al Biz was on that live too, and Hips was like, look, yeah, man, look, I want to move on. Yeah, I did it. Move on from it. Hips, he wants to move on from it. But sometimes it takes, the only reason they were able to get John Gotti was through Sammy the Bull, right? And Sammy the Bull was no better than John Gotti, right? You could probably even say probably even worse, right? Because he committed to doing, I guess, 19. He was involved with 19, indirectly or indirectly. Uh, that's just the ones he's admitted to. So the only way they were able to get to John was through Sammy the Bull. Somebody, it's not as evil as John, maybe more evil. So it's the same thing, when you're in this dirty business, it's going to take somebody else that's in that same to expose what was really going on. You know, Youngblood came. He came. Say, oh, I watched Mark because he wasn't in that type of circle. So now, when I started hearing those kind of questions, I'm like, man, well, Hips was there. Hips done told everybody what Mark was doing, what he seen uh, Mendenhall say. What he seen Mark. You know, the text messages that Hips sent me. Yeah, Cause Mark is the content, man. Mark is the content. It's like Mark is the content, man. And if nobody else is talking about him, then hey, I should be the number one source for Mark topic. Better for me, right? If nobody else wants to talk about it, then I'll continue talking about it. I mean, everybody else, what I don't get is Mark is a grown man. Mark is a grown man. Mark doesn't need other men talking for him. Mark can get on the live, he can join the panel, and last time he was in the comments lurking saying, man, uh I know I said some things, I did some things, but all those things, then people knew what they were doing. They got themselves into those positions. So little by little, Mark's coming out. Y'all go check out those comments that he was in the comments lurking. And he threw one thing out there saying, "Oh man, you're just concerned about me being gay." I said, "Nah, man, I'm not worried about that. I could care less about that. I'm just want to know if that documentary is real or not. That's it. I'm not spinning my own narrative and what positions, this position, that position. No, it's like that movie, Nicolas Cage, 8 millimeter or 10 millimeter. The widow found a movie and she wanted to know if that movie was real or not. If what she seen was real or not. Or here in a little bit. I'm gonna put it on here in a little bit. A few more minutes. So Mark, Mark can't get mad. He can't get mad. It's like this perfect. Here goes another one. People say, why do you continue talking about it? This documentary right here, if y'all haven't seen it, Life of Crime, y'all go watch it out. Y'all go. It's a very it's interesting, intriguing, and very sad story at the end. For each of the participants that was in that documentary, uh, towards the end, it's a it's a very interesting documentary that was made about 36 years ago, and then they did a follow up in 2020. And if y'all haven't watched it, man, you know, the female passed away from. She survived everything she was doing, man, from interaction with dudes with HIV, you know, the whole 9 yards of being on the streets and being addicted. And for her to pass away during COVID because she was isolated and didn't have nobody to talk to. I mean, it's kind of a messed up way to go. You survive all those streets in the 80s, 90s, and just to get taken away. Yeah, I'm gonna play it right now. Just some parts. Some parts I won't show. Some parts you can't really. All right. Yeah, let me see. My bad, bro. Can y'all hear it? Let me see. All right. Here we go. This is the first. This is the first scene. It's gonna play it from the beginning. It's gonna be from the beginning. Uh, Burkett. I thought it said Burnett, but it said Burkett.
My first boy was JD. We were together for approximately 2 years before he went home on parole. Um, During those 2 years, we developed
Can y'all?
great feelings for one another. You know, he was like my shadow. Everywhere you seen me, you seen him. You know, we were best friends. It wasn't the relationship wasn't based on sex. You know, me fucking him in his ass. It was more than that. You know what I'm saying? I cared deeply about him. I woke up. First thing I wanted to see was him. Before I went to bed at night, the last thing I wanted to see was him. I was in love with him.
The game is in the penitentiary a set of rules dealing with homosexual activity. You know, you got what you call boys and sissies. Uh, then you got your man. Uh, so, I was looked at to be turned out, you know, what they call fresh meat. I ended up going to down to a room to smoke a joint. We was on the chain gang, 16 dorm at that time. And we ended up doing some other things, and that's what brought me in. Once you start something in here, you don't change it. They don't too easily let you do that. Once you're one way, you're always that way.
Create in me a clean heart, oh God, and renew the right spirit in me.
Alabama spends the lowest amount of money feeding inmates than any other state in the Southeast. Mississippi, Florida, Tennessee, Georgia. They spend 73 cents to feed people here. Now, at 73 cents, you're not going to get a good, nutritious meal out of 73 cents. I don't care where you stay at. This is a world within a world. You got everything under the sun. You got homosexuality run rampant. You've got gambling. You've got gangs. You got everything. You know. Josephine. 968.
JG, am I righteous?
I looked for Jeffrey Tate in I found his Facebook page and his wife's Facebook page, but the last time he posted on that Facebook page was 2014. So I don't know if and I don't see him having multiple Facebook accounts. Him being so old and uh I don't believe because I found his Facebook. I think he was like I know he was religious. I don't I might be wrong, but he could have been like a preacher or something to do with religion already. The last from based off his Facebook.
Dog. It's like he's like the older brother that I never had. I got unconditional love for him, not just because we both bloods, but because he's always been real to me. You know, we've had our ups and downs and differences and problems, but we love one another. Seriously.
We was real close. Like I said, we was close. We just talk. We share our problems. You know what I'm saying? We used to share boys and mainly he looked up to me. You know what I'm saying? To me, I was like his role model, the person he wanted to be like. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I done, he wanted to do, like my little brother.
People kissing my ass. They want to know how much I got in my sands. They make a kill misdemeanor. Oh, I run out of cash. It's like helium in my bank account. It's steadily rising. Ain't no more public housing. Nigga, my rent outside. I'm around that mile before I blow up. Come on. Before I keep it now. It was two clips. Your game. Ain't nothing.
The hustling part is because people don't have any money. You know, there's no way to make money. This is how the game works. I ain't got no means of money. I got a box full of candy back there. Cookies, zuzus, and wham whams is what they call it. I'm going to loan it to another inmate. I'll let you get a pack of cookies for 2 packs back next week. If a man borrows too much stuff, it gets too far in debt. Either you fight for it and let him know I'm not going to pay you, so me and you just going to have to whoop each other's ass and we're going to go to lockup, or we're going to go back here and fuck, just ever how you want to do it. That's the way it works. He might have borrowed 10 suits and ended up fucking out his ass the rest of his life while he's here on account of 10 suits. Got him that way. Because 10 suits, if you can't pay it this week, it's going to cost you 20 suits next week. And the week after that, it's going to be 40 suits. So sooner or later, the man's going to step to you and tell you, hey, I'm tired of your shit.
Way to take a boy like this.
I basically met Lamar Moore in 1996 or 97, one of Staten, and we were business partners. Okay, when I left and he left, we met up again here at Limestone in 2000. Okay, and it was the same scenario.
Hips went to the street and come back to prison. When he got to the camp, he owed out like $300-400 worth of shit. When he first got there, from before when he was in prison,
Mark had a boy, David Mendenhall.
I met Mark on the chain gang. Uh, I would say it was in '98.
Mindy, he was my baby. He came to me. Mindy came to me and requested to be with me. You know what I'm saying? Which was rather strange because this is was like the first guy that ever pulled up on me and said, "Hey man, can I be with you?" You know, so it was rather shocking.
Here at Limestone, you don't have the guys waiting at the back gate on you. And about the only way you can get turned out is you fall for the game.
I turned Adi out. Adi was fresh in prison. Um, had been chased by half of the camp. You know, he ran from them, and I don't know. He just basically he said he wanted someone to be real with him, someone to give him attention and affection. And he seen how I treated Mindy and my other boys, and he just wanted to get in, so he did.
They started, giving me things, things I liked, anything I wanted I could get.
Well, I had never been through it before. I had never turned a boy out or had a boy or anything. And that wasn't my objective. Uh, I was just supposed to pull him away from the other people he was kicking it with and to kick it with us.
When my folks quit looking out for me, I felt betrayed. I was at my lowest self-esteem, so I had to find a way to pick me back up and make me happy. Make the best out of a bad situation. Mark and Mendenhall, they did that.
Where you from, man? I get out tomorrow, right? Tomorrow? Yeah. All right. Okay.
David Mendenhall, he worked on radios. He'd fix my radio and everything. We got to talking, eating together, drinking together. We'd do a little drugs together.
I spent some time with him as far as kicking it. We might play cards together. All of us would. We'd get together and do it.
I run tattoos, run a store, and hustled. All right. So me and Mark started running a store again together, hustling, trying to make more money and more money and more money and more money. And before you know it, I ended up with two boys, and he ended up with two boys, and we called it a family.
Right. And that's the way we looked at it. We had a family.
I don't like this no more than you do, right? But
For me, my boys get my boys.
don't you know it?
We build from the beginning, you know what I'm saying, the bond of trust. I would let them go out and walk around by themselves, but I knew other guys wanted to be with them. And I know they would give them things, you know what I'm saying, for free because they was trying to pull them away from me. So it benefited me, you know what I'm saying, in that aspect, because I could let them go out and hang out or go and laugh in someone's face or flirt a little bit, and come back with some food or come back with some cigarettes or come back with some coffee. And so it usually starts with one of my boys. I see a boy that I like, and I tell him, hey, I like that person. You need to start spending some time with him. You need to start talking to him or whatever. And they wind up building a relationship.
The motive of the game is it's not all to have you sexually, not for real. Because they know, say in my case, I'm a young dude, I look good, everybody wants me in the camp. They know if they could get me and they could invest a little bit, the way the game goes, I owe them then. It happens all the time. They could pimp me out, and make, triple, make more money like that than what they've invested. That's how the game goes in here.
We gotta put that's Eddie. Oh, Mark. That one white guy was Eddie. I don't know his real name. They called him Youngin Eddie. Yeah, Eddie was white.
Hey,
Right. Let it ferment for a couple of days, and then let it sit up. I'm gonna be so close to some Jim Beam whiskey until I might make Jim Beam sue me.
Julep is more or less a prison world whiskey. And make it out of yeast, orange juices, and rice. It'll get you drunk, pretty much like free world alcohol. Like I said, we got to drinking that night, and both of us was pretty tipsy. We just laying on the bed back there. He was at one end of the bed, and I was at the other end of the bed, and he just started rubbing on my leg. So automatically, by me being pretty well drunk, I had began to become erect, you know, and I didn't have any complex about it. I already liked him. He's a good looking dude.
So we called him Youngin. He
They
just
sure have.
trusted me, with his
Mr.
feelings
Peter.
and everything else, whatever he thought about. He felt he could talk to me.
So for me to live clean and have what I like, I guess when I started hanging around Mendenhall, he was doing all that. They give me anything I wanted: free world clothes, boots, shoes, watches, things of such. And I knew that if I left that I wouldn't have all those things. After Mark had found out that I had slept with Mindy, he became anxious. He wanted to himself. But as far as me and him, I really didn't look at him like that right then because I wasn't spending much time with him. He was just basically the financial sister. I wasn't spending a whole lot of time with him. But as I did, I started to grow to like him also. And then when I was spending time with him, Mendenhall would be jealous. So it was causing turmoil in the family. That's what we were. We're a family.
This was the second time Mark being here, and they shipped him again. But whenever they shipped him, then that's whenever pretty much responsibility landed on me to make sure they're all right and to make sure nobody messes with them. You got to, if you have to, die for them.
The reason why I left him with him because I know he's a good person. I know he wouldn't mistreat him. And if I would come back to that certain institution, if I wanted him back,
There's a subscriber from my city called Little Country. Uh, he be commenting every now and then. And he gave me a name of a person to reach out to in Alabama. He's actually at St. Clair right now, and it's been like 3 4 days, since I sent him the message on JPay. Wanted to know if what's his perspective on the view on the what's going on in the Alabama prison culture and what's his insight. What does he see going on? Because the dude got to life anyways. He's not coming out. The dude I reached out to, he's a white dude. Uh, he's in there for a body, so he's not coming out anytime soon. And I don't know if St. Clair is a medium or max or minimum, but he's over there right now. There's a lot of people that you can reach out to, and but I'm pretty sure Mark's already done reached out to a lot of these people and said, "Hey, man, don't talk to these people."
they wanted to be back with me, he wouldn't have a problem with it.
If I wasn't in the game, then I wouldn't drink and drug. There's not many times to where I just want to look at reality, what's around me, what's happening. I try to stay messed up so I don't have to see it. That's how I cope with it every day.
I got out of lockup.
You heard what Mendenhall said right there, man. He said he had to stay fried. His mind had to stay fried to be able to function, just to be able to go through life. He had to be intoxicated on whatever was coming through that door just to get him through the day. That's sad. To live your life, under the intoxication of something, liquid courage, or whatever it is that it's on your back that you have to use to get you through the day. That's I mean, but some people got trauma like Mendenhall, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, his only other option was, to go the other route and not come back from it. Not too many people want to go that route. So they find substances to numb it and I guess, cover up the pain and be able to go through it every day in life. I mean,
And I was trying to deal with it out of my feelings for Mindy. I was trying to deal with it, but he had changed. He is caught up in himself too much, too self-centered. He always worried about him, when he was gonna get high the next time. And
see, right here, what I get from Eddie. Eddie sounds consensual. Like he don't need he don't need any kind of substance to go through his day-to-day life. He's happy. He's happy being that way that he is. He didn't need no boo game or any kind of coerced or grooming. He probably came in already feeling some type of way. And it took it out of him and being with David Mendenhall, them being tipsy and being in that type of environment that, Adam and Steve happened. But it seems like if I'm gonna rewind it, you based it off Eddie's conversation. Uh, he knows his place in the hierarchy without any kind of force. And now Mendenhall, every day he's like, man, I can't kick it with Mendenhall. I want to be out here on the stroll. I don't need to be under the influence or or any kind of substance to be on the stroll. Because Eddie enjoyed it. It sucked that I from his own admission, listening to his conversation, he liked it. He liked the cat calling. He liked the attention that he was gaining. He liked the free coffee. He liked being able to go to the barber shop and not pay the barber. He liked all the perks of being a boy. It's almost like a female, a female that wants to be taken care of by the man. Be like, hey, heck it. All I got to do this is every other night, and I'm taken care of. Why not? Majority of the females do that, but the females are worse because they try to get pregnant to hold the man hostage. These guys can't do that, but Eddie, listening to Eddie and listening to Mendenhall, Mendenhall needed to get twisted to be able to deal with the daily day life. Eddie, on the other hand, he enjoyed it. So that's why I mean, they couldn't kick it together. You know, uh, he probably wants Zuzus and Wham Whams, and Mendenhall's probably, tricking off the money on substance to get him going through the next day.
I just couldn't deal with that. I don't like being around them type people. As far as the aspects of life goes, yeah, it was better. Uh, I could go to the barber and get a haircut anytime I wanted. It wouldn't have to take nothing with me, And then as far as the lock in my box, I didn't really have to because I didn't have to worry about anybody breaking in it at all because they know that I was associated with Mark, so they wouldn't mess with that. Mark had a pretty good reputation around here.
Well, I've used many different techniques to get a boy. Um, Tricks, manipulation, boo game. Um,
I'm actually Green Goblin. Because in reality, I think he lost his phone, man. Because I would be texting them and I would call and they would just ring. Nobody would pick up. And now he got a totally different number. He said he's been trying to get in contact with me, but I had to reach out to him the same way I found him. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of people that can be reached out to, man. There's a lot of people. I mean, everybody's gonna know. Even even uh even I think Big Ox. I think Big Ox. I haven't reached out to him, because I probably figured Mark probably already reached out to him. But you know, I'm gonna reach out to Big Ox and be like, hey, Hips done told me your story, man. So there's no point of lying or nothing. Hips done told me that you try to offer him meat swap. You have some cheeseburgers coming out, some dirty ass rubber water boots coming out, trying to trade Hips for some cheeseburgers. So Hips, y'all heard it that day. Hips was, yeah, I know Big Ox's name. I know his name, bro. I know his name. I know his name. Matter of fact, Hips knows him. Youngblood knows him. Uh, that's how I was able to find Big Ox. And then when Hips said the story about Big Ox, I'm like, man, I got to reach out to Big Ox and be like, hey, Hips is already saying this stuff about you, man. He's saying that, what's your statement on these burgers? You want to make a statement and just reach out to the dudes, man. That's it. There's a lot more, that can be reached out to. But I want to know, just like little country, hometown. He wanted to know, you know, where these white dudes at, man. Yeah, he has. That's why because I don't have a Facebook, right? So Youngblood, when I find people on Facebook and stuff, Youngblood reaches out to them for me because he has a Facebook. So when y'all, you know, I just tell I'm able to, you don't have to have a login for Facebook. Yeah, you do to a certain extent, but sometimes the profile you get to see a little bit of the picture of the profile before you have to log in. So once I get like a hint or an idea or maybe like a gut feeling that this person's involved or might have some insight, I shoot it to Youngblood and Youngblood makes contact with them. Oh, Hips, you talk. Let me see. Let me see what H. No, I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna reach out to Big Ox pretty soon, bro. Cause a lot of these guys are doing live. They're doing a lot of time, and a lot of them don't got any, like, I guess, support, man. A lot of them don't have any support, and a lot of them, if they can tell a few stories to get some commissary to get them through. I don't know in Alabama, they still i- are they still smoking? Can they still buy off commissary? I don't know if it's I don't know because in Texas they stopped in like in early 2000s or late 90s. They stopped it in Texas because I know when I went to prison in 2001 it was no more, it wasn't on commissary no more, so it had to be way before then. uh I don't know how it is in Alabama. I don't know if in Alabama they can still buy tobacco off commissary, or it's on the black market. But Big Ox, and a lot of these characters, man, a lot of these characters, that's the thing that I reached out to these bandits because a lot of these bandits are going to be open. Like Hips even told me, there's plenty of them like Big Ox. Big Ox would, he would openly tell you, hey, that's what I do. And y'all heard my homeboy Bobby that when he was locked up in prison, he knew a dude that told him, hey, look, man, I'm a booty bandit, 100% from the heart. Uh, I'm all in it. So there's a lot of people that are open about it and they just don't care and it is what it is, and they'll talk about it. Mark It's sadly to say that he's not at that point. He doesn't want to talk about what he was doing in there, and he should be proud. According to him, if if it was shameful and he wasn't proud of it, he wouldn't be doing it. But he's in there talking about. Let's listen to a little bit more, man.
Hero type Captain Save a Hole situations, all sorts of things. And yes, I became very good at it.
I'll make sure you have something to eat every night. I'll make sure you have something to smoke. I'll make sure you have some coffee. But I'm not never giving it to him directly. He's getting it from one of my boys. So when that person might feel like, no, it's not me or whatever, then I cut him off. I cut his supply off. You know what I'm saying? Now I give him time to think about it. You know what I'm saying? He was getting free dope. He was getting free whiskey. He was getting eating every night. He was smoking every night. And then he was getting free sex. Now he don't get none of that no more. And to be able to get that, then this is what he
What's
got
going
to do.
on, young blood?
Well, one of the first things they're going to throw up is the stuff they've given you. You owe them for that. And then they kind of put the boo down with it, the boo game. And to where you owe them that plus interest, They try to get you in a bind.
Telling you some gas, what you want to do?
Y'all got me leaking and everything.
I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you
Y'all
hit it.
bullshit,
Where did all the cup at?
Huh?
Son, give me that
think
cup.
I'm just gonna buy your shit and then I ain't gonna taste it?
No, yeah. You don't. Hey, look, you ain't gonna just be drinking my whiskey, right? That's all you getting now. What's up? That's gas, ain't it?
It's still sweet.
No, you ain't
Trying to sell us some bad water.
It's
I ain't
straight.
finna you rob me.
But see, you an alcoholic, so it don't
It's
even
straight.
matter.
It's
Yeah,
straight.
You just want to drink.
It's straight.
always about the big game, man. Ain't no robbing here, bro.
Hey,
You always about the big
Why
game,
every
man.
time I be trying to handle some business, man, you always
You always
show
about the
up.
big game, though, man. You still owe me 5 bags,
I
partner.
don't owe you nothing.
You know what I'm saying? You still owe me 5 bags. I tell you what, you go ahead and get this and we break even.
There's a gallon right here. Give me
I
10.
grew up in a family of 9 brothers and 4 sisters, and my father, he left, when I was like 9 years old. BPS is on her stomach, stand for Black Peace Stone. She's holding a dope sack in her hand. My other girl over on this side, she's got her back, she holding a shotgun. That's my hood, what I represent. Black Peace Stone Blood Nation.
Looking back over the years, I guess I shed some tears. I told myself time and time again, this time I'm gonna win. Taking the bumps and the bruises of all the things of a 2-time loser. I tried to hold on, my faith is gone. It's just a
No, yeah. You don't. Hey, look, you ain't gonna just be drinking my whiskey, right? That's all you getting now.
Right there where it says Lewis. You talking about Lewis? Oh, he should be coming on. He said he's going to be home at 10 o'clock, bro. He said that's what he said. So right now, when it's at 9:15, I'm gonna get off, and then I'm gonna log back on at 9:45, and I'm gonna wait for Hips. Yes, it says Lewis.
What's up? That's gas, ain't it?
It's still sweet.
No, you ain't
Trying to
finna
sell
rob
us
me.
some bad water.
It's
I
straight.
ain't finna let you rob me,
But
man.
see, you an alcoholic, so it don't
It's
even
straight.
matter.
It's
Yeah,
straight.
You just want to drink.
How come you always about the big game, man? Ain't no robbing here, bro.
I think it's 44 077
You always about to be. Every time I be trying to.
I think the last number is a 1. Yeah, even JG looks kind of sick because he's already looking like his eyes looking sunken. Like this guy's eyes are sunken too, and then if you look at JG's eyes, his eyes are kind of.
Some business, man. You always show
about
up.
the beat game though, man. You still owe me 5 bags,
I
partner.
don't owe you nothing.
You know what I'm saying? You still owe me 5 bags. I tell you what, you go ahead and get this and we break even.
There's a gallon right here. Give me
I
10.
grew up in a family of 9 brothers and 4 sisters, and my father, he left, when I was like 9 years old. BPS is on her stomach, stand for Black Peace Stone. She's holding a dope sack in her hand. My other girl over on this side, she's got her back, she holding a shotgun. That's my hood, what I represent. Black Peace Stone Blood Nation.
Looking back over the years, I guess I shed some tears. I told myself time and time again, it's time I'm gonna win. Taking the bumps and the bruises of all the things of a 2-time loser. I tried to hold on, my faith is gone. It's just another sad song. I look back at the times, living in a 3-bedroom shack, wicked streets, nothing to eat, and hemming out clothes on my back. So many hard times.
I grew up in Pritchard with my grandmother, my mother. Lived there all my life. Slum area, ghetto. Full of drugs, prostitution, murders. Basically just the straight ghetto. My hood, Crenshaw Mafia. You know what I'm saying? Basically what it says at the top, bees make the world go round. Meaning bloods make the world go round, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I love blood with all my heart. I joined at a young age. It was more so like a family to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't grow up with a father or uncles or nothing like that. No father figure. So I looked up to the Bloods as like role model.
He didn't like our lifestyle. He wasn't accustomed to going by rules and all that. He just did it. He wanted to do just what he wanted to do. And when he wasn't around and got with the wrong crew, wrong fellas, I guess he began to be part of the crowd. Doing just illegal stuff.
My case is really simple. I shot a guy in the projects. He was the opposite gang member. I got 20 years for it.
See, I wouldn't know what a blood is. I've never dealt with gangs, so I was blind about all that. There was no man in the house for him growing up, so he was around a bunch of ladies. Mother signed him over to his great grandmother, and she had control of him. That boy never, not one weekend went by that he came stay with me. That his great grandmama didn't call my house as soon as we got him to the house, and all kind of weird complaints and stuff. He needed to be back home. I had to actually take him back several times. Same time, she never gave him the chance to stay with him. It was always like they thought maybe somebody was gonna take him or something from him. And it never was like that. And once he got up, 12, 13, then she wants to go and call me. Want me to chastise the child or something. At that age, it was impossible. I would have had to fight him and all this here to get him. And I just couldn't see it. I mean, it wouldn't have happened. It would have been worse, I think, with me and him than it is now. If I had tried that. The areas that he stayed in, all of them was bad. And with the guidance that he had, the parental guidance that he had, there was nothing left for him to choose going out in the street. We never denied him nothing. I offered him a bed in my house and food to eat, and he made that choice.
This explains assembles my time in prison. The clock got 2 arrows pointing to 10. Twice, meaning 20 years what I got. I've been betrayed so much by people who I thought loved me, as far as dealing with women on the street, you know what I'm saying? Even women in my family, you know what I'm saying? I don't really have no problem with accepting real love from whoever. The first time I fucked some ass was in Ten Dome at Limestone. I knew he was a boy, but what caught my interest because he lifted weights, you know. And at that time, I was often working out real heavy. He promised me, he said, man, I ain't gonna bring it to you. If you don't wanna fuck with another man, I ain't gonna pressure you to. So one night we was in the cell. We just had a t-shirt and some boxer shorts on. I didn't try to avoid the situation. I brought it to him. I cracked him for his ass. After that, I went and took a shower, cleaned myself up and everything. And I felt guilty. I felt bad. I felt like I had just committed the ultimate sin. You know, I got back from him for a while because I had started having feelings that I didn't think were right. I started caring about this motherfucker. I mean, you know, laying up in my bed thinking about him. I might be on the weight pile thinking about him. You know what I'm saying? I might see him talking to another dude and I become angry on the inside. It was like jealousy, or I don't know what it was. I don't want to say love, you know what I'm saying? But it's just something I couldn't explain. And I transfer. I go to another prison. I never seen him again.
Well, the first man I was with really messed my head up there for a while. I've had knives pulled on me. At that time, I was really more scared because this individual, more or less, I can't think of the word for it. Anyway, he was very dominant, very controlling. I couldn't talk to nobody, couldn't go anywhere without either him being there or something said about it. Anyway, he brought it to me. I cried. I definitely cried. There's many nights I remember walking back to my dorm after they cleared the count. And I'd cry on the way, asking myself, how would I get into this? And sometimes I'd ask God, how could this happen? Because it's something at the time I didn't understand at all.
And I believe that today that we have to ask God to help our brother David Mendenhall, who has been in trouble. How many years has he served?
It's going on 6 years now.
Oh, 6 years. Maybe, we don't know, we don't judge. God, we're not to say whether he did or whether he did not. The Lord, 6 years, God, ought to be long enough. God, 6 years, Lord, ought to be enough time.
They moved in here and before the baby came, and they had it furnished nice, and they had everything the baby could possibly want. The church and all gave him a beautiful shower, and everything seemed to be going great, but he would just work to death. And young, he was only 18. We believe in God and protection, and we prayed much and had churches, everyone praying for him, and always they'd pray for him.
This is real quick off topic, real quick. In Texas, there's a big outbreak of measles going on. And where it's being affected at is the community of the Mennonites. The first kids that are dying from the measles outbreak in Texas is the community of the Mennonites. Same kept. I don't know if they're. I don't know if Mendenhall was a Mennonite, but they believe in in their religion. And the news reporter asked them, uh, "Now that you know that your daughter passed away from not being vaccinated from the measles, would you do it again? If you had the chance, would you vaccinate your daughter?" And they said, "No, we wouldn't do it. If we were to get the same opportunity again, we wouldn't vaccinate our daughter because it's against our God. God would have taken care of everything." So, and this just happened here in Texas from the measles outbreak. So, and they didn't get charged. You would say, why didn't you vaccinate them from the measles?
At church. If a baby would cry at church, start to cry, well, she'd hear David and hand her over to him. When he gets up, well, he picked the baby up and he got up. I guess he, with his back turned to the wall and only about a foot space between them. See, we had this this bed sitting down inside of a water bed, big frame, and he gets up on the back side and not very much space between him and the wall there. And I guess he bumped it. He says, "Grandmother, he hardly knew what happened because he was half awake and all. But he bumped himself, kind of lost his balance. He threw the baby back on the bed. And she had thrown the covers back. When he got up, he threw them back and it landed on the covers and just rolled right on off. And when he saw what was happening, he's fast. He grabbed for the baby and got it with a little leg. But it had already, by that time, it was far enough down to hit that frame was sitting down on, but all of it was on the floor at the time, and hit his little head. And it had such a beautiful head of dark hair, and you couldn't see anything was wrong with it. It just had a little bruise on the cheek was the only sign you could see where it was hurt. They brought it against him as child abuse and murder. First manslaughter, and then they called it murder.
I didn't have enough years and time and knowledge under my belt to be a father and be really supportive and foresee things coming and know what to do about it to shape a young person's life, to really be the pillar that I should have been.
Now my son is 18 and married with a baby on the way. Half asleep, too tired to think an accident occurred. Now the baby's dead and the charges are red. Murder in the first degree. Now my son's in prison, wish I could set him free.
Well, when you're first coming in, that's what it makes you feel like. It makes you feel like that your life's on the line. That's the kind of positions they put you in. All those kind of threats come. I've been told that I'd be on TV. My folks would see me on TV, dead. Murdered in Limestone Penitentiary. So I've had my life threatened a few times.
David Jr. was real close to the breaking point. At one time, he called me, and he was nearly to a nervous breakdown, and he wasn't able to eat and keep it on his stomach. And he'd had a homosexuals there and so forth. And he was afraid to go to the authorities because they had threatened him. And he didn't know what to do, so he called me. And I called a lieutenant immediately and then moved David to a cell to himself. He didn't have a cell. He had to be out in the public with everybody. but they put him in a cell to protect him like that. And they moved him from that dorm to another place. So David was recuperated and was much happier.
I hope that those kind of experiences, being pimped out and the homosexual activity and such as that he's had to deal with in there, I hope that's something that when he gets out, he can put behind him, not have to talk about it or bring it up, and just, let it die in his past, and, kind of start fresh from day one when he gets out, and create a new respectable life.
Because, I never had a father, you know what I'm saying? But I always wanted a father. I like turning guys out. As far as being turned out already, especially by family members, I kind of felt sympathy for them.
I was probably about 6, and that happened with a family member,
Cousin.
uncle.
But at the time that the discussion, we got into the discussion about it, and I asked him, if Jimmy had been touching him or messing with him, like he shouldn't have been. And he said, yeah, he chases me around the room, stuff like that. So I had to believe at that point he was telling me the truth, but David didn't come to me with any request for me to do anything specifically to the situation.
I mean, just imagine, man, you meeting a guy, you know what I'm saying? He's telling, hey, man, my father fucked me when I was 5 or 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? It kind of touched me because, see, I have a daughter, and, I just couldn't see doing nothing like that. It more so even made me want to be there for them. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they were a weaker guy in prison. Guys run over them and abuse them and dog them out. So it made me want to step up. You know what I'm saying? And be like a shield for them.
They might test you with horse playing, wrestling, you know what I'm saying? They might test you with little games like, just playing games like, let me feel on, they might say something like, let me feel on your pussy or whatever, and see how he respond to it. You know what I'm saying? And they might try it anyway, do it and see what he do, you know what I'm saying, once they does that. If he don't show, you know what I'm saying, no real stand, then, you know what I'm saying, then they'll wind up, he'll wind up being a boy.
If you go against, maybe what your man wants, or however, then that's whenever you broke the rules. You've went against it, and there's always gonna be, it's from the old school. There's severe consequences for that.
Prisons in the South, a white guy pretty much has it hard. He'll be tested much quicker than a black inmate.
There was this guy who was here before. He was a blood, and in Alabama, you know what I'm saying, a lot of places, you know what I'm saying, they don't believe in a white guy being a blood.
I had feelings for him, lust, even at the time that he was still claiming to be a blood. But by us acknowledging him as blood, I pushed that lust to the side. So for me to meet him, and he was already a member of Bloods, I felt like, well, hell, he had to show some type of heart. I put it like that. He had to been improved himself. So I accepted him. During this time, it was football season, and every motherfucking prison gonna watch football. So the captain and the lieutenant, they come around and do daily inspections of the whole dorm.
So this guy in particular, he had painted a lot of satanic stuff on the wall. inside one of the dorms here.
They go off. I mean, they have a fit. Until we find out who vandalized his room, there'll be no football. Another blood comes to me, say, hey man, you know who put that shit in that room? I said, nah, who? So he tells me, he say, Blood did it, the little white boy. So I'm like, what? So we stepped down on him. You know what I'm saying? Let him know how it's fucked up because he put all us in a fucked up position to where if someone in the dorm wanted to harm him, then it involves us. I tell him, I say, hey, man, he can't be blood anymore. So I walk him around the prison compound. We talk, and I basically let him know, what I'm saying, how I had felt betrayed by what he did, you know what I'm saying? And it was hard for me to deal. It was hard for me to accept, So basically, I just made him feel guilty. I made him feel like he was obligated to me from that point on. He agreed with it. Me and truthfully, I seen that as an opening for me to move in and turn him out. I started to put my plan into making. So I let him know that I want him to be with me. I let him know that I want to have sex with him. I let him know I want to lay with him.
So I came over there to that dorm the next day, been drinking, been smoking some reefer or whatever. And I go to my little brother's cell, or I call him my little brother, Mark. I go to his cell and he telling me, he running the whole story down to me what this person did. So after he run the whole story down to me, like I had his door, they have cells, I had his door cracked and I see him and I call him. I say, hey, I call him up there and he come up there. So when he get up in the cell, I'm really playing. I'm playing at first. I was playing it. Yeah, I was playing. Yeah, I was playing at first. So I asked him. I said, man, you know what you did could have got a lot of people messed up." So he like, "Yeah." I said, "What if we rape you right now? How will you like that?"
He started crying and begging and pleading. You know what I'm saying? Mark, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be gay. I don't want to. But at this time, you know what I'm saying, I'm out of control. I don't want to hear nothing, no talk.
So my little brother, he jump up and he slapped real hard.
I tell him to turn around. So he moves slightly. I tell him to turn around again. He still doesn't want to turn all the way around. So I said, bitch, if I have to tell you to turn around one more time, I'm going to break your jaw. So he turns around.
He make him come out his clothes. First, he reluctant about coming out his clothes. So he slap him again. So when he slap him this time, he gonna come up out his clothes. He go to feeling on him.
I squeeze his ass cheeks. 2 handfuls. He tenses up. You know. So I started to pull his shirt off of him. I give him the grease. I tell him to put some on his finger. Stick it in his ass and you know what I'm saying, kind of like fuck himself. To loosen himself up because I know he had never been penetrated before. It was his first time. And also, you know what I'm saying, just an old penitentiary trick that I learned from some old convicts. If he screamed rape, you know what I'm saying, he had grease on his fingernail. So he greased his own self up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to basically lie and tell him I've been fucking him. He's been my boy. Hell, they going to buy it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to the extreme and get 4 or 5 other guys that lie and say I've been fucking him too, been taking care of him. He's been my boy. So I get the grease. I grease my penis up. You know what I'm saying? So I lay him down on the bunk, flat on his stomach. So I'm playing, rubbing in his ass, you know what I'm saying? Squeezing his ass cheeks, rub my fingers up and down his back, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to talk him through it, telling him to relax, you know what I'm saying? He still pleading, begging me. You know, but like I said, I didn't care to hear any of that. You know what I'm saying? I had made up my mind. So I go to fucking him. You know what I'm saying? Slowly at first, you know what I'm saying? To try to loosen him up. So he's groaning and, you know what I'm saying, moaning and telling me how it hurts. So, you know, I bag out a little bit, just tell him to relax, breathe, you know what I'm saying? So I'm fucking him. At this time, my partner, my dog, he at the door. You know what I'm saying? He's standing in front of the cell. So he's like, man, come on, man, goddamn. Go on, hurry up, man. I want to get straight too. I said, well, come on. I get up off of him. He greases himself up. He shows him no mercy. He fucks him for real. You know what I'm saying? So I had to tell him, hold up, man, you know, slow down, chill out, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to hurt him for real. You know what I'm saying? And you have to go to the hospital and, you know what I'm saying? He's going to automatically have to say what happened. You know what I'm saying? So
he have sex with him first. Then I have sex with him. Then he have sex with him. I have sex with him. Then he have sex with him. And then that was the end of it.
after this, you know, he finishes, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So boy gets on the shit jacket. You know what I'm saying? Use the restroom. So I fuck him. He, you know, cleans himself up or whatever. He's back on the bed. So I go and finish up. He said, I didn't finish it first. You know what I'm saying? So I fuck him and I come off. I get my due. Next day, you know what I'm saying? He goes to SEG. In prison, that's lockup.
So I'm like, in my heart, I'm like, damn, we through. We done got us a rape case.
But now he doesn't tell the folk that he was raped or had been penetrated or nothing. He tells the people that he was assaulted by some other inmates who he couldn't identify. So they place him in segregation. Me and my partner, we go to the lieutenant who put him in SEG, and we explain the situation as far as he was a member of our gang and we beat him out. And he didn't want to tell them who beat him up because he didn't want to bring our names into anything else. You know what I'm saying? And we explained to him that we felt like it was best that he be out the gang. The lieutenant, he bought it. You know, he got the officer to bring the little white guy over there to the sheriff office while matter of fact, he called several other bloods up there to verify the story. So he asked him, he said, son, is this true, what they're saying? So he told him, he said, yeah. But you could definitely see it in his eyes, you know what I'm saying, that it was something else. But I guess his pride or whatever, he didn't want to let him know that he had been fucked. So the lieutenant said, son, I'm going to let you out of SEG, but I'm not going to let you out today. I'm going to let you out Monday. This was on a Friday.
And when he go to lockup, Mark sending him all kind of cigarettes and making sure he got everything he need in lockup, making sure he got his cosmetic, making sure he got something to smoke, making sure he got coffee, making sure he got food, because in lockup you can't have all these things.
So Monday come around, he gets out of SEG. I see him. When I see him, he said he's in the Bible. He wants to live for God. By my grandmother raising me, tried to raise me in a Christian environment. You know, I believe in God. I'm not gonna never go against God. So I told him, I said, hey man, I understand that. But in my mind, I truly wanted him to be with me. You know what I'm saying? But I say, if you're gonna live for God, I respect that. And I say, hey man, whatever you need, or if you need me or anything, you know what I'm saying, I'll be there for you. Okay, so cool. About a week goes by. He goes and get baptized in the chapel inside the Perills and all this and that. Right? He's going to church. So after about 2 weeks go by, I see he slacked up from going to church. He's hanging with other guys that they fuck ass. They smoke dope. He running tattoos. You know, I mean, if you're a Christian person or any type of person of a religion, you know what I'm saying, you don't hang around these type of people. You know what I'm saying, dealing with these type of activities. And the bitch was just fronting to try to get away from me. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he wanted to live for God, I could accept that and respect that. You know what I'm saying? But to use God to try to get from up under me and get away from what I wanted, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't accept that. So I seen him. He's laying out on the grass by the dormitory. So I call him. I go off on him. I snap on him. Bitch, you know what I'm saying? I know this, I know that. I put everything all on the glass, on the table. I let him know about the joint he smoked, you know, because the dope come from me. After that, I say, you got two choices. You can either be with me or you can go pack your shit and go tell them folks to lock you up. You go back to lock up. So he looks at me. He said, man, I ain't got no problem with being with you. We hook up, you know what I'm saying? Everything was lovey-dovey, you know what I'm saying? Relationship was gravy, all good. I transferred.
You know, I'm always feel bad about, you know, that situation that ever happened. You know, after I moved on, I told him I was through messing with him, and he got with this other dude. You know what I'm saying? He wound up having sex with him. He was doing so bad, never having nothing. He wound up selling it to somebody else on the other side of the camp. You know, they have two sides of this prison. So he wound up selling him to another dude, and that dude wound up selling him to another dude, you know, and he just wound up, you know, going down through that because he was with all these different dudes, and these dudes was treating him different. Some of them would make him trick, you know what I'm saying? And he was doing different things, and all this, what he was going through was a result because nobody messed with him. He's a blood.
He just went crazy. He just went to sleeping with different guys. I mean, just tossing the ass up.
Everything he did after that wasn't his choice. It was the man making the choice for him. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna go out here and trick. You're gonna go and make some money. If I don't want you no more, now I'm gonna sell you to him. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't. Everything about his life, you know, when he first came to prison, just changed.
In other words, yeah, you could say I fucked his life up. You know.
If he stayed gone for 5, 6 years or whatever, if he ever come back to prison and there's someone in prison that remember him from then, he will always be a boy.
It bothered me at times. You know, so I've even wrote him letters to apologize.
You said I'd get over you if I just give it a little time. Every now and then I think you're right. Something always happens and you're right back here, as big as life.
Y'all seen that flag right there, huh? Y'all seen that flag? All right, y'all. I'm gonna get back on live right now. I'm gonna reach out to Hips. Y'all got Hips Cash App. So if y'all want to help out, send Hips something. Don't send it yet. wait till we get on live, and y'all can send it to him then. That way he can get on. Thank you, everybody. Hopefully he said 10. He just texted me right now. He said 10:30. So I'll be back at 10 o'clock. That way to give him time to come on.